Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Chrono Cross. Last time we finished off the 3 remaining elemental golems, for lack of a better term. At least I think we did 3. I forgot to actually check what I did in the last episode, which usually I'm pretty good about doing, but not this time. We're gonna roll with it. I have made my final setup, which is very similar to the setup I had before. Nothing particularly special as far as equipment goes, just whatever good stuff you have. If you don't have as many power seals as I do, don't worry about it. It's an extra couple of strength. It's not going to make a huge difference one way or the other. We also have, let's see, Dragoon gauntlets are very nice to have here. You should have at least one power seal, if not, found or we're able to get a couple of lucky drops in Chronopolis there. Like I said, if not, no big deal. You can set up some additional defense. Dragoon's Honor is still good. Star Fragment to protect against status effects probably won't be useful, but it would be one of those things I would have on a lot anyway. Magic Seal for any characters you have that are going to be focused on that. What else? You can always go all the way back to the Power Glove if you need something else. Like I said, you can always buff up with protection. You could use elemental plates here. It's not necessary. Oh, by the way, I've been playing around because I think toward the start of the LP, someone had mentioned something about evade actually being good in this game. To be honest, I've never considered even checking it out because by the time we get here, you've seen the amount of damage that we take. It's completely unnecessary. Well, I managed to get Marcy 83%. I wasn't able to get anyone else up this high. The only character with more innate evade than Marcy in this playthrough is Mojo, and he can't equip the Stardust Cape, meaning he doesn't get as high total once you factor in equipment. Defender Plus gives a bunch, Wing Shoes give a lot, and Defender, because I had nothing else to put on there, you cannot double up on the Wing Shoes. I guess they're like a helmet in that sense. You can only have one pair. You can't put an extra pair on your hands for more evade. But yeah, 83% evade. I would suspect that Marcy would be one of the better characters in the game considering this. Blue is already a great innate just because it has access to a lot of really nice elements. Cure-All, Vigora, etc. And yeah, you ever want to go that route? Give it a shot and let me know if it's any good. Because it seems like that would be really good. I just haven't bothered to try it, and well, Fargo has steel and he's already equipped, so I'm not going to unequip him. Each character has a couple of the turn color elements. Each character has an Eagle Eye and a Strengthen, preferably more than one. Usually, I will have 2 of the field abilities on Fargo, and again, Eagle Eye Strengthen. Couple of turns, there's an extra turn black in there, and a couple of field. In this case, it's only 1 field effect over here. And over here, we have some more turn, some more strengthens, some more eagle eyes, and what else? And a blue field. So yeah, that's all 4 of the different field elements. You probably want to have them on. It's just an easier way to cast summons, and I may want to do that upcoming. Other than that, you really don't need pretty much anything above here. You don't need as far as elements go. You never really have, Holy Healing is going way over the top. You don't need. Full Revival, probably more than you need. Other than having a Magnify and or a Diminish here, it doesn't necessarily. I haven't used these in who knows how long at this point. I think I used 1 Inferno in the fight with the jellyfish so that I could demonstrate that fire actually worked again, or red in 8 worked against that boss, so that I could just use X-Strike on it and nuke it, because the X-Strike did more than enough damage to one-shot it. We have a lot of nice elements up here, but other than Black Hole or Ultra Nova on probably level 6, I just don't use any of them. And yeah, some nice summons there. You're into that. Everyone else is pretty much the same. I have elements in place, but I haven't used them in forever, so. Once you're all prepped up and ready to go, through the door one more time. There are no more items. No more mini-bosses. We have another Dragonite type of launching thing like we saw in Fort Dragonia. And it's probably shouldn't be too surprising that at the very top, we have an area that looks suspiciously like Sky Dragon Isle. And the art here is a little different. I think they use slightly different models here. A few times we see this in the game. Whose voices are we hearing? Prepared to share the burden I carry. What burden is that? And who's talking? All of that was automated, by the way. I couldn't slow down to talk about any of it, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. If you have Kid in the party, she does show up here, and you can bring her along, regardless of whether she's in your active party. The hell? This is the true Frozen Flame. Frozen Flame room that we saw before with the big orange sphere, they wasn't very clear about what exactly was going on in that room. This is the final form of the Frozen Flame. Don't touch it. Who exactly are you fighting against here, kid? Who are you talking about? That would be one. Okay. In order to survive, all living things in this world fight desperately and devour those they defeat. One must kill other living things in order to survive. One must destroy another world in order to allow one's own to continue. Wounded in turn wound and torment those weaker than themselves. Only killers and the killed, the sinners who are judged, and the victims that do the judging. What meaning is there in such a world? They bring up an interesting question. And it's as old as philosophy itself. What is the point of all this? To tie it to this game, when did the cogs of fate begin to turn? In Kid's view, it doesn't matter. You just go on living. No right to deny us this. I shall cleanse this blue planet of all you filthy humans once and for all. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Another one of my favorite themes in the game, the Omni Dragon boss theme. And I say Omni Dragon, and here we have the enemy, Time Devourer. Interesting. More on that in a moment. First, let's beat this thing up. Go. Whack. Okay. Do a few chip shots here. I'm gonna get a few more shots in with each of my characters here. Please give me the stuff that I need there. Now, as you can see, pretty much everything this guy does takes a long time. In the speedrun, there's a setup that requires the boss to have exactly one attack, and then you win. I plan on showing this after, but for now, let's just beat away on this guy for a little bit here. I'm going to start with Eagle Eye. And before I go to the next one here, I'm going to do a chip shot. Is that enough? Okay, that was enough already. Okay, perfect. That'll work out even better. The way that this boss fight works, it's really interesting. I called him the Omni Dragon. You noticed when I first put the cursor on him, he was white innate. He will cycle through all the different elements, ending back with white at the very end. This means that in order to do well in this fight, the turn elements of different colors, if you plan on using magic, are going to be quite important. It's also going to be important to make good use of the stamina that we all have. And it also makes sense to put things in specific spots. Like I want to have the turn green element on Glenn. The next form we're going to fight is red. So I'm going to want the turn blue on a different character. So we're going to turn green on Surge. I guess I could always use Glenn as well, and he could beat the crap out of this guy, but and here's an interesting note that I learned from the speedrun itself. There is a setup here. If you mash through two of these, the enemy will do a counterattack before switching forms. But if you wait a sec and then do it, then it'll switch forms without doing that attack. There's one other interesting note about being thrown from location to location. There is a glitch. I don't know if it's been fixed for the remaster. There is a glitch, and you can search this up on YouTube, and I have in my research for this. There's a glitch that causes that throw to do a massive amount of damage. It has killed speedruns of this game dead 4 or 5 hours in at the very end. It's also done, some game overs where otherwise you wouldn't get a game over. So it's a very sketchy part of the fight. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a couple more attacks. Game, stop. Get a couple more attacks in. Allow you to get off an attack. Now, this isn't the strategy where the boss only gets to attack once. He's not going to get a lot of attacks, but I do want to at least show generally what the boss does. And the boss fights in basically a combination to way all of the golems fought, using a lot of base elements, in this case though, using them from all different elements. They also have access to all of those Omega attacks that I showed off before. Those Omega attacks can do a lot of damage. Blue field. Fargo. Blue whale. Show this off. I could have set up Magnify ahead of time. I'm not going to worry about it too much. The total HP between all the different forms for this boss is 15,000, which is more than I think any other boss fight in the game, save for maybe the final boss? Question mark? I don't remember. The attack pattern for each form is different. It's unlikely that you're going to deal with a lot of powerful attacks. The second attack is usually, like in the case of the red one, he got to do his first attack was a bunch of elements. His second attack would be an element, and then his next attack would be an attack, and then he would move into the Omega. The further on in the fight you go, the more likely they're going to use powerful attacks on their first and second go-around. By the time we fight the green one here, its first attack is already supposed to be either Tornado or Omega Green. So we're going to use Glenn here. You'll also notice in between rounds, as you get thrown around, the field effect will change. If you notice up in the top there. Alright, we need to get you out of that because that's not helping. You'll notice that we still have turn green in effect on Surge. I don't really want turn green when fighting the green variant. So what we're going to do here is we're going to throw turn yellow on Surge there. Now, certain things disappear in between, but Strengthen and whatever else we have on there, and Eagle Eye should not. Just gonna get another chip shot in there, try and get you some more stamina. And sadly, yeah, so here's his opening move this time. It'll be Tornado. And we get some slowdown. That's always fun. So yeah, the boss can actually deal some amount of damage. Missing does not help. Let's set up Eagle Eye on you here. As far as stealing, you can steal a holy healing element from this guy. So let's do that. Oh, there, we've broken into the next form already, so that works. Sadly, this is going to kill my ability to steal, so I'll have to do that a little bit later. We'll lose all my stamina, or not my stamina, my accuracy there. Now we are fighting the blue variant. And the interesting part about this one here, let's do one attack. And where is your other one there? So there's Strengthen on Surge. We basically skipped this form. As I'm sure you remember, we have a powerful dual tech that happens to be this color. And we kind of nuke the entire form by doing this. Yeah, the music for this fight is absolutely phenomenal. The animation for the changing of sequences looks really cool. And revisiting all of these old boss grounds that you only get to see once outside of the Bend of Time is pretty cool. Let's use you to build up some stamina here. And what else we got here? I don't want to turn you black. Let's, I don't know why the turn yellow hasn't worn off yet. I'm kind of surprised. Let's steal that holy healing element. If it misses, I'm not going to restart. But it's always nice to get another one of them because they're really, really good. And there's a free fall. As you can see, they start off with more powerful attacks the further along in the fight goes. But in the end, it doesn't really change how we would deal with the fight. As you can see, as long as you have the Masamune and you get those crits, you're not really going to struggle all that much. Like I've had strength on maybe half the time. We've already gone through all of them. We're back to where we started. And that's the white variant. Let's get Eagle Eye on him there. I wasn't planning on this, but let's throw the heal all out, and we'll use a summon element, just because it happened to give me the opportunity. I wasn't planning on doing that, but okay, sure. We'll show off Genie in this fight, too. That gives us 3 of the level 8 summons that we've got to showing off so far. Only a few left, and since everyone's out, we'll get a stamina refresh once we're done with this. Reminds me to an extent of the Typhoon summon from Final Fantasy VII. Alright, and now that we've done that, there it is. Turn black on Surge, and Surge can finish things off. Yeah, basically Surge versus the Time Devourer with buffs, and that's kind of all he needs. Well, there's only 700 with a number 2 attack with a strong hit. That's a cool looking death animation. No victory fanfare. However, we get our final star up. More strength, and more strength. And an earring of hope. Now you're going to awaken again. What now? Balthazar! That thing, the Dragon God, is only a quasi-existence. A temporary form the real Dragon God uses in order to appear in this dimension. The actual Dragon God was consumed long ago. Now, I can't recall if I specifically pointed this out or if this was in the research that I was doing. Apologies again, trying to keep straight what I've researched and read and what I've actually talked about has been a difficult procedure. Keep it all straight in my head. But the idea here, and somebody is playing around with my TV. It turned itself on. I don't know why. Okay, let's not get distracted anymore. The dragon gods themselves are not actual dragon gods. They are kind of an existence they use to appear in this world. They're actually from a different plane of existence, swallowed by that being on the other side of the dimensional darkness. So what swallowed the original form of the dragon god? The frozen flame is a splinter from the extraterrestrial being Lavos. Now, I did talk about this. They had alluded to this without being super clear. Earlier on, I believe Lynx had pointed this out to us when we fought him in Chronopolis. It said that the frozen flame was the essence of the extraterrestrial something back in the prehistoric. Because of what we know about the whole world of Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, we know the thing that fell from the stars in the prehistoric was Lavos. So I went and I talked about that at that point. I did include a little disclaimer if you thought it might have been a spoiler, but here is where they finally clarify it. The frozen flame is a part of Lavos. If you skipped over my explanation there about how that all worked, there was a minute or two that I put the link on screen for you guys to skip to whatever time code it was. Go back and check that out now because it will clarify a few things for you. One who connects with the frozen flame, in fact, links with Lavos himself. Now, if you recall, one who connected with the frozen flame 14 years ago was Surge. As the mediator between Lavos and living things, that one will gain extraordinary powers. Other than the fact that Surge is really powerful, in the course of the game, they don't really clarify what those powers are. By binding with the new Seed of Destruction, the Devourer of Time, which we just defeated. Yeah, what exactly is going on? Explain things. Go to the place where time became divided and weave the threads of time together again. The Devourer of Time is a new life form, born from the fusion of a life form from this planet with Lavos. Oh. Lavos nests on the far side of the dimensional void. In the far-off future, when the fusion becomes complete, it will awaken. Then the Devourer of Time will consume all space-time continuum. Despair and hatred to return all things to nothingness. That is what it desires. Take this with you. We've got the time egg once again. The time egg will enable you to travel beyond space-time. The world is in your hands. Release the life that is imprisoned. The dragon god? I thought you said it was consumed. Well, what else could be there? Of all the effects in this game, the water here kind of looks crappy, to be quite honest. It's no different than what you would expect from a lot of water effects that look like this in that kind of situation on the PlayStation. It just doesn't look right. Well, load-bearing boss, time to get out of here. and in one of the more interesting cutscenes in the game. Terra Tower falls. If you did not make a save point before finishing this, you have missed out on an ending. That's why I told you to make a save file before even entering into Terra Tower. But as I said, in one of the strangest cutscenes, Terra Tower falls and transforms. And then does absolutely nothing. Yes, but why did it transform? What does it do if that's its final form? Did it just die? Is that how it dies? I don't know. The game doesn't say anything about it. In the end, we're all the same. Everyone dreams of being greater and more powerful. We've come this far. All that remains is to defeat the Devourer of Time. Once we wipe the Devourer of Time off the face of the planet, all over. Hopefully everything will go back to normal. Always the hope. Things won't ever go back to the way they were. Fate is dead. Remember, Fate was the computer system. Fate created Lynx as its human incarnation to act in its stead because it was cut off from the power source that was the Frozen Flame. And that makes sense that the Frozen Flame would be a power source, considering Chrono Trigger when they used the Mamma machine to siphon power from Lavos in order to power everything in that kingdom. One of the NPCs specifically said that we no longer need the power of the elements because we have Lavos now, Mamma machine. But without fate dictating and controlling how we deal with our lives, there's nothing guaranteed about the future. We have to take responsibility for our own choices. Gotta settle our differences. What's really important is what we do now. It's not whether we defeat them or not. Depending on how we go about it, we could lose out on gaining something really precious. The issue is the way we fight. Yeah, so where is the Time Devourer now? Now, if you recall what they said a moment ago, finding it lies at the beach, the place where the worlds were split so long ago. It's probably where the whole thing will end. The final form of Terra Tower can no longer be entered. You cannot grind against the enemies, you cannot do anything. If you so desire, I believe they've now given us a final pillar of light at the bend of time, and you can still fight those enemies if you want to do so. They will be located here. Other than that, we have done pretty much everything. Frozen Flame has really made profound influences on the way this world works. As a splinter of Lavos, it served so many purposes. It was the eyes and ears of Lavos in El Nido, allowing Lavos to keep track on world. It's a power source for Chronopolis and Fate. It served to keep the dragon gods subdued. now seems to have disappeared. And the dragon now is merged itself, or in some way seems to have fused with Lavos. Or at least it will in the future. But anyway, other than potentially fighting Cryosphinx if you haven't done so yet, getting any of the level 7 techs, or any of that, we're basically at the end of the game. Other than New Game Plus, there's not much left for us to do. Next time, we go to Opasa Beach, and, well, it's gonna be interesting. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.